update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Your favorite bar can open its doors on Monday. The governor gave the green light to reopen at 50% capacity. You'll have to stay seated and you will not be allowed to dance or socialize with other people at other tables. The Fort Myers Beach Town Council pushed the Lonnie Kai's consultant for solutions on how to make the hotel safer at a meeting last night. The town council is concerned about the number of calls sending deputies to the resort, and they want solutions from the hotel's consultant. You now have more options to feed your children. Collier Schools is extending their summer food service program. Starting Monday, free meals will be provided each weekday to children 18 and under, and the meals are available for both in-person and virtual students. The driver accused of hitting a 14-year-old with his truck and leaving him to die tried to blame his brother for the crash that happened in Lely. James Lee Melande is recovering in the hospital this morning. Juan Albasures Giron is expected back in court next month. A body is removed from a Cape Coral home. Right now, we're working to find out more about this suspicious death. It happened along Southwest 25th Street in Cape Coral, and neighbors say they have not seen anybody at that house in weeks. And Lee County parents, remember you can pick up grab-and-go meals for your children every Tuesday and Thursday. Both Lee Home Connect and virtual students can receive these meals for the week. To find your assigned pickup times for both Lee and Collier schools, head to the Wink News app. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Good Friday morning. Right now we're watching a crash getting cleared up on I-75. It's been out there for the past 2.5 or so hours. Mile marker 174 northbound, which is just north of Kings Highway in Charlotte County, off to the side of the road, and it all is getting cleared up right now. The rest of the interstate, very clear and quiet early on this morning. No crashes to report throughout Lee and Collier counties. A little bit of patchy fog between Golden Gate Parkway and the entrance to Alligator Alley, mile markers 105 to 95. Very patchy in nature. You'll just drive in and out of some low clouds out there. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, especially this afternoon into the early evening, another round of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. There's the left way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News. The conservative, smart, right voice of Southwest Florida.
True relief for back and neck pain.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
It's Rockstar Harley's pre-owned black and orange tag sale this week. Hundreds of Harleys tagged with liquidation pricing. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. 100% of applications accepted. Save thousands this week. Only at Rockstar Harley's pre-owned black and orange tag sale. It ends this Sunday.
Fox News.
Are you a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts? You may be entitled to compensation, no matter how long ago the abuse happened. But your time to file a claim is limited. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. As a result of thousands of victims filing sexual abuse claims, the Boy Scouts have filed for bankruptcy protection, and the bankruptcy court has set November 16, 2020 as the deadline for abuse survivors to file a claim. As a result of this bankruptcy, a victims' compensation fund is being set up that may be worth over $1.5 billion. Childhood sexual abuse takes numerous forms, including forcible rape, exposing oneself to a child, or showing her or him pornographic images, or viewing or photographing a child in a sexual context. If you are a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. Sponsored by Mark J. Byrne and Partners, LLC.
From 92.5 Fox News,
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
it's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Never forget Southwest Florida. Never forget. I certainly do not. And throughout the morning, I want to remind everyone this day, September 11th, and of course, that day, September 11th, 2001, that we never forget this day. For me personally, it's, and I even talked to Mike Opelka, who's going to join us later on, as it does each and every Friday at 8:35, that he was there on the ground September 11th in Lower Manhattan. So he was someone who has, and I have to be honest, I don't even know if Mike Opelka will be able this morning to even talk about his experience, because it's emotional. I've talked to him about it before, and even in private company, we have not been able to get through the discussions of what he witnessed, what he saw that morning. And we talked about how for the two of us, it was a pivot point in our lives. And I want to make sure, in a couple of different things this morning, as there's a lot of news that's out there, certainly we can talk about, and we will play audio from the embarrassment of not only Joe Biden being interviewed by Jake Tapper and some of the things that he said and the contradictions and how it was a mess of an interview, and also Biden campaign talking to Brett Baer yesterday and what a mess that was. Some of the things that they will not say, like does he speak off a teleprompter, and for the campaign to be so upset about a question like that, like why would you be so upset? So we'll have all that audio coming up for those that care at all. NFL football. Do you remember Jake the Millennial, NFL football? Do you remember football? Do you remember NFL football? Do you know what that is? Do you even care to know what that is? At this point, not many.
Not a fan.
Yeah, not many people are right now. And just in case you were wondering if the start of the NFL season last night was going to be political, yep, you bet it was. The Houston Texans didn't stay on the field for the national anthem. There was some boos from the crowd that was there, which I guess is a problem. We're told that everybody has to be in lockstep with what the NFL is doing, but we're told we have to be in unity and agreement, and we have to be able to talk about all the issues of what they are saying, this idea of systemic racism. And there's racism running rampant across the country, and it has to be addressed. Okay, well, let's talk about it. No, can't talk about it. We're not allowed to talk about it. What you have to do is you have to agree with everything that we tell you and everything that we say. And if you don't, well, you're the racist, then you're the problem. And I mean, it has become that over the top. And if you think that it hasn't, I got something for you this morning that may prove a little different. That would be from what our kids are being taught. It's going to come around full circle what I'm talking about here. We'll get to all of that. There's a lot of news. But I do want to open this break to you if maybe you have memories of where you were that morning of September 11th, 2001, what you were doing. It was a pivot point for me because it was, for me, the moment, and I'll just briefly tell you where I was and what I was doing, and there's a reason, again, to explain this all. It's because for me, it was a pivot point. I was working music radio here in Southwest Florida, waking up that morning, hearing my alarm going off and hearing the morning show hosts talking about the plane hitting the first tower and getting up and looking at the TV and watching what was happening in real time, as many of us did, and then remembering that as everything was unfolding before my eyes on TV, that my dad worked in Manhattan every day, and he would drive in Midtown. And if you know anything about when you travel into Manhattan from New Jersey, there are ways that you get into Manhattan where there are elevated roadways where you can see the most incredible view of the Manhattan skyline in front of you. And I remember that morning that my dad was going in at that moment in time, if he was not in the city already. And I had a landline in my house. I always had a landline in the house, and not the kind of landlines that we have now. The landlines we have now are really just IP, right? The landlines that most people have in their phone is when they have home phone service. It's really still connected to the internet. It's you're still using a router. I'm talking about the landlines that we would have. And Jake probably doesn't even know what I'm talking. Do you remember that, Jake? Do you remember actual landlines? The ones that you plug into the wall in your home there The
only ones that worked when the power went out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I had it, was because I was always concerned during hurricane season, in order to be able to get a hold of someone outside of the area. If I had a landline, I didn't have to worry about the cell service being out. And so that's what I did. I grabbed my landline phone and called my dad. And after a few times trying to get through, as everybody did, and everybody remembers the busy signals and trying to call friends and family, I reached him. And he happened to be in a traffic jam, as you can imagine. Usually there was anyway, but now traffic completely stopped. The road going into and driving in from New Jersey into Midtown, an elevated roadway where he had a clear shot of everything right in front of him. And I'll never forget his voice that day when I called him, and he didn't even say hello or anything. He said, I'm watching it all happen. I saw it happen. I saw the whole thing, and described in detail what he was witnessing and seeing the planes, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what's happening. And I'll never forget his voice and the tone in his voice. And for many of you, you have that same experience that you'll never forget, because you shouldn't forget those attacks. But you'll also never forget the pivot point and what it did and how it affected you. For me, that moment in time was the moment that I realized that I never wanted to be unplugged again. I never wanted to go through my life and not know what was happening around the world, not know what was going on specifically in detail about news stories, about what was happening local and national, and it just changed. It changed everything about my thinking, especially my job and this job, and what I was going to do in the future. And it was, and one of the things I do want to take away this morning, and remembering September 11th, and never forget, and to remind people about this day, because it's going to be very easy to let it get away. The further away we get, I mean, we even come to find out, I'm looking at stories even out of New York this morning, and how probably many people realize this or do not realize that there are going to be two, because of the quote-unquote pandemic, there are going to be not one but two different ceremonies and September 11th anniversary commemorations, because they couldn't come to an agreement. There was a divide over the memorial's decision to suspend the tradition of relatives reading victims' names in person. It's been a tradition, and because of the commission deciding that they were not going to do it, they were going to play the reading of names from the past, from past ceremonies, that there is going to be a second ceremony that is happening where just down the street from the memorial, where the victims' families will be reading the names. And there's that split already. And even the people have been talking about this. One outlet in New York, the FDNY cited the virus and urging members to stay away from any observances of the 2001 attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people, among them almost 350 firefighters. Some victims' relatives say they understand the Ground Zero observance had to change in a year when so much else has. Others fear the pandemic is making plain what they have feared was happening unspoken, that the commitment to quote-unquote never forget is fading. That's from this article. What is this? This was from ABC7 in New York, as they were talking about what will be happening this morning and the changes. And that's part of what I wanted to bring up right now. By the way, anytime you want to call, 239-479-5592, as we stream live on YouTube as well, if you want to watch. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You can subscribe to the channel, and we do appreciate that. It's free to subscribe, obviously, and then it helps to keep us going on YouTube and Facebook both. But the further we do get away, those memories will fade unless we do something to make sure that we talk to friends and family and remind them of that day, because that's how it all goes away. If we have, let's say, schools, let's say families who just don't want to talk about it, don't want to get into the details, and it just fades out of memory. And even yesterday, as we're told that the Texans didn't come out on the field for the national anthem and the Chiefs were standing arm in arm with the Texans during what was called the Black National Anthem. I guess there was a didn't know there was one, but remember that was the discussion a few months ago that was going to happen, and it did happen. And there were some boos in the crowd and some people that were upset and about them locking arms after the fact, coming out after the anthem was done, and some of those boos out there, and people on social media, as you can imagine, being just so upset about that, about the booing of the unity of the two teams coming together in unison, not coming together during the anthem, but after the anthem to come out and show unity for what and about what. But we can get to that another time. But I wonder, as it pertains to today, how many of the players will, and their families will remember and choose to remember and want to remember? I mean, I'm seeing some hashtags on Twitter that I can't believe that I'm seeing. Some things that are pretty disgusting, like the hashtag all buildings matter. I'm sorry. Are we really doing that? And we are. And I am worried that we live in a society now that is already some, not all, but some, who are not only trying to destroy and tear down our founding, our constitutional republic, police departments, first responders. But again, how many of those same individuals will take the time and choose to remind people about today and what it's all about? And that responsibility, my friends, lies with us, lies with me, it lies with you. Right? I mean, that's how you keep a memory, a legacy, information, facts, history going, is by you doing it. You have to make sure that continues to be the case. 239-479-5592. All right, streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and please subscribe. We will talk more about that. Rich Kolko had a story, Wink News, about one New York City police officer who was there on 9/11, who now is in Naples. We'll talk about that story and his story personally. We'll get to that. And also, coming up, I want to replay an interview from yesterday. I'll explain a little bit more about that interview because I want you all to hear this once again as we get closer to the election and some things that are happening behind the scenes that we need to be aware of. So we'll talk about that coming up. Stay break 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Is that Therese O'Shea?
Yes, sir.
All right, Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. We're watching a crash right now in East Naples at Rattlesnake Hammock Road and Santa Barbara Boulevard. No roadblock, but there are injuries reported there, so expect to see EMS and quite a little scene as they're working to get that cleared up right now. Looking good along I-75. No major delays on the interstate from Collier into Lee and Charlotte counties. Clear right now on Alligator Alley as far as any volume goes, but we do have some patchy fog reported between mile markers 105 to 95, so just keep that in mind. South of Golden Gate Parkway and then heading toward the entrance to the alley. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today and into the weekend, keep that umbrella handy and nearby. More rounds of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Big Island Builders, whose reputation for quality homes at a fair price is unsurpassed in Naples.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The White House says the president's considering fresh executive orders for COVID relief, which would include help for the struggling airline industry. This as airline workers push for billions in federal aid to avoid prolonged furloughs. A COVID relief bill failed in the Senate yesterday. The CEO of Netflix tells The Hollywood Reporter his company is not looking to buy movie theaters, despite rumors to the contrary. The Labor Department cites Smithfield Foods for failing to protect its employees from the coronavirus. OSHA's proposing fining Smithfield nearly $13,500, the maximum allowed. Nearly 1,300 workers got sick in South Dakota, and 4 died. And tech stocks led Wall Street lower. The Dow dropped 405 points. The Nasdaq slid 222. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
I'm David Scranton. Do you know how to convert your retirement savings into steady income? Start by calling the Retirement Income Store today.
Call 866-976-9518. That's 866-976-9518.
The Retirement Income Store, where retirees go for income.
Online at theretirementincomeStore.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hello, Southwest Florida. I'm Anthony with the American Tradesman Show, and my guest, Gerald Prevet from B&K Water Extraction and Mold Services, and his brother, Brian Prevet from Prevet Plumbing, and my partner, Juan Silva from American Electrical. Join us each week, Saturday mornings between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., where we talk about something new in the construction field, educating you on anything with the new codes, new requirements, and also the materials and the products that we use on these shows. So we look forward to you listening to our show. God bless America and Semper Fi. Hoorah!
Hey, it's Drew Steele talking to my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters. Love my Core-Tech, love my flooring, love my carpets. I love everything about Floor Meisters, to be quite honest. And as a matter of fact, doing it for a long time. Not just that, you and Miss Sugar, Dave.
Miss Sugar and I are going to be married 50 years on September 6th. Isn't that amazing?
Tell us more about some of what you have when it comes to carpet, Dave.
We got about 100 rolls of carpet in stock, starting at $1.99 a square foot installed carpet pad labor. As of normal, we have WPC, which is the Core-Tech and its competitors, and we have area rug for people to look at, and we do ceramic tile and wood also. I don't know how they can make it so cheap, but they do.
The quality is fantastic, and you are going to love the selection at Floor Meisters. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Has the little blue pill let you down? Our expert medical staff at mymensclinic.com can and will help. Guys, if you're suffering from ED, we can fix it. Even if you have tried Viagra and other drugs and they've failed you, we will help. Studies have shown that we offer the most effective non-surgical treatments for ED, even if you have other medical conditions. They're generally no problem. We know that hearing "we can try again next weekend" is tough. When what you want to hear is wow. We at mymensclinic.com have helped thousands of men just like you, thousands more nationally. We can make one simple guarantee, and we do. See our licensed medical staff. If we can't show you positive results during that first appointment, that appointment is free. Guys, let's get the wow back in the bedroom. Guys, let's book online at mymensclinic.com or call 239-307-0125. That's 239-307-0125. Again, mymensclinic.com.
You want a new look for your kitchen, but you really dread the thought of subjecting your home and family to the mess and fuss created by weeks of remodeling? Cornerstone Builders has the solution. They can give your kitchen an entirely new look in a matter of days, not weeks. Stand by for the phone number to schedule your free in-home consultation. Cornerstone will save you a lot of time and thousands of dollars with a custom kitchen reface. This 4-step process includes 15 cabinet doors, 5 drawer fronts, and includes relaminating your cabinet exteriors, plus new hinges and new knobs or handles. Best part? The price. Just $38.20 for a beautiful thermofoil reface or $78.20 for maple wood reface. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation. 239-332-3020. That's 332-3020. 239-332-3020. Cornerstone Builders in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Naples, and Marco Island. With 30 years and 22,000 satisfied customers. You know they're gonna wow you.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. In just a few more minutes, want to play some of the audio from yesterday in case you missed it. I'm just trying to figure out what is going on with not only Joe Biden and some of the things that I think we all know what's going on with Joe Biden and some of the things that he has been saying, but the top press secretary for Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden's campaign got all angry yesterday on Bret Baier's program. Now, the question is, why would he get angry? What could Bret Baier possibly ask that would get you angry at him? If it's a simple question about a teleprompter, why would you get angry? And what did that sound like? So we'll have audio of that interview, as well as Joe Biden with Jake Tapper and some of the nonsense going back and forth, and Jake Tapper even asking him about his health. Wait till you hear Joe Biden's answer about his health and his mental acuity and how he's doing over there. It may or may not surprise you. We'll have that audio coming up. Plus your phone calls, 239-479-5592.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Jay, president of Big Island Builders. When I came to Naples many years ago, I knew I could bring a totally different approach to building custom homes. But I had a problem. I had no contacts here in Naples, no architects knew who I was, and my competition wasn't exactly thrilled about making room for a new builder. For 2 weeks straight, I began to drive the neighborhoods that I wanted to build in. In that process, I found a man at his mailbox and I asked him if he needed any work done on his home. He told me he was glad that I showed up because he wanted to tear down this older home and build a brand new custom home. So that's how we broke into the Naples market. And today, that same drive, energy, and passion that started our company is what we continue to bring to our clients. We build top quality custom homes with passion for a fair price. Give us a call at 239-262-6867 or visit us at bigislandbuilders.com.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together. safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
Southwest Florida is our home, and there's a lot to love. Our community gatherings, our sporting events, our quality health care and education, and our natural resources, just to name a few. It's why we call Southwest Florida our home, and it's why we love living here. As residents of Southwest Florida, we're strong, compassionate, and capable. Let's protect what and who we love by following CDC guidelines. Together, we can protect our home and each other. For more information about CDC guidelines, visit legov.com/COVID-19.
In a salute to honoring and supporting our military heroes, the Southwest Florida Military Museum in Cape Coral is hosting a fundraiser and auction event Saturday, September 12th, starting at 1 p.m., featuring Civil War, World War I, and World War II artifacts, coins, jewelry, and much more. All donations benefit the Southwest Florida Military Museum. Live auction at the museum and...
Hey, just wanted to take a minute to say good morning to everybody. The audio is different right now because we switched the microphone so that you can hear that. I'm talking through the computer's mic, but I wanted to be able to say good morning to everybody and say thank you for listening. So good morning to Florentina and Eric. Thank you so much for listening. Lady Catherine says Happy Jake Day. So I forgot to say Happy Jake Day this morning, first and foremost. So that's a bad thing. And for those that are just tuning in for the first time to the program, don't forget Jake. Jake, the millennial's favorite day is Friday because it's the one day where he looks forward to the weekend and works a little less hard than he usually does. It's a little weird. But anyway, it's Fridays we call Jake Day. Laura said she watched the beginning of the game out of curiosity, definitely political, turned to another channel. I know, it's so sad to see. And wait till you hear what Roger Goodell said, the commissioner of the NFL, about whether or not there's politics in the game and whether or not they want to have politics. I mean, some of the audio and some of the things that are being said are just crazy. Let's see, very sad to see tags like all buildings matter. I know, it's discouraging, and I know it's comments like that keep things so divided. It's so true, and that's the thing that a lot of people are worried about, and that's why I brought it up early on this morning, was the fact that, I'm concerned about the history, the future, and who is going to communicate with everybody about our past and what happened on September 11th and how it wasn't just about the buildings, but the lives lost and the reason why it happened. We have to talk about those things. Otherwise, you're going to have ridiculous hashtags on Twitter like that we have to recognize. So I know Lady Catherine says she missed seeing Jake. Well, I think soon enough we're going to be back in the studio. Maybe even next week. So you'll get to see Jake again. Won't that be joy? Kind of, sorry. All right, so I got to get back to it. So stay right there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. I don't know where the subscribe button is. Where is it? Is it there? No, it's there. The subscribe button is there. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. 92.5 Fox News.
We are going to make America great again.
Right, all along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling tip for the day. When you call us at 239-482-1542, what you'll get is a warm reception. We'll send out a real NATE-certified expert mechanic who will treat you and your time with respect. Our team will help to inform you of the situation and correct any issues that we find. Our goal is to make sure your experience with our team is a pleasant one, and we work very hard every day to meet that goal. Kobe is who we are, and cooling is what we do. But we also know we're nothing without you. Thank you, Southwest Florida, for almost 70 years of trust in our family. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949, serving local Southwest Florida families for almost 70 years.
When the unexpected comes calling, bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward fast with internet speeds of up to a gig. Bounce forward on a network that helps keep connected devices protected. To learn more, go to ComcastBusiness.com.
Retirement questions? You can bet Bob Grace probably has the answer. Join him every Saturday morning at 8 and Sunday at noon for Retire with Grace. It's your source for all things retirement, from how current events could affect your savings to strategies to help maximize your retirement income and everything in between. Join us, Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Investment advisory services offered through Grace Capital Management Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana Kia.
Why? Why pay more for a used car or truck? Model year end sales event at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. 2020 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $49 per month. That's right, a new car for just $49 per month. 2020 Kia Rio, just $13,990. Yes, $13,990. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Galliana Kia has lenders to get almost anyone approved. Plus, we'll take any trade, in any condition, even if you're upside down. Why? Why buy an overpriced used car when you can buy a new car for less? Brand new Kias, just $49 per month.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana Kia.
Model year in sales event going on now at Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. 24-month lease, 12,000 miles per year, $39.99 due at sign plus tax, tech, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval expires month end.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live on YouTube every day at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You go there, you subscribe, you'll know exactly when we are on the air live, and you get to watch, whether on Facebook or YouTube. We appreciate that you would subscribe. It's free, so please do that. We will continue to talk and take your phone calls about what today is, September 11th, if we remember, and we should, 2001. And I say if we remember, because how many people are out there that have to be reminded of this day? How many people are out there that are not even taught about what happened on September 11th? And of course, all this morning, feel free to call or even text 239-479-5592. Maybe you want to talk and remember where you were at that moment and how it has affected you. I mean, I'm doing this job right now because of the pivot in my life from that day. And I talked to Mike Opelka. I mentioned that earlier, what an important day it was in history, in my history as well. And again, how it pivoted my whole life and changed a lot of things about what I did, how I did it, and my future, where I'm sitting here with you. All right, once again, 239-479-5592. So if you would like to call now, we would love to hear from you. Brett Baer sat down yesterday with the top press secretary for Joe Biden's campaign. And, look, you have opportunities to explain to the American people why Joe Biden should be the next president of the United States, where you can prove definitively where he excels and make your case. And then when somebody brings up something like, I don't know, has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter?
End with this. Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
I mean, look, if he's used a teleprompter to answer Q&As with supporters, everybody knows it. It's a fact, right? It's you can see it. Unless they're hiding it, or it's something when he's in his basement, you can't see that it's happening. But is it worth it for you to get upset when that question's asked? Or is it better that you confront it, you explain that he does, and then, I don't know, come up with something creative, succinct about why? unless it's really embarrassing and you don't want people to know that that's happening, because it would almost have you believe that Joe Biden's mental acuity may not be spot on, and that could certainly be a problem.
Hey, Esther.
All right, easy. So what's the top press secretary for Joe Biden's campaign, the answer to that?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign's talking
they're
points.
using
and what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Brett, they talk about it every day because they don't have a coherent argument for why Donald Trump deserves re-election, deserves 4 more years.
Sorry, it's not funny. Yes, it is. The Republicans don't have a coherent argument as to why Donald Trump should be elected for 4 more years. Are you kidding? Before the pandemic, it was on display for everybody to see. It was tangible. Corey Lewandowski is going to join us this morning at 8:05. And if you would like to listen, I forgot his name. What is his name? The top press secretary for Joe. TJ Ducklow. Mr. Ducklow, if you'd like to tune in at 8:05, I'm sure along with Corey Lewandowski, we can give you the answers to that specifically if you would like us to. But you already know the answers because everything has been tangible up to the point of the pandemic. But so he just keeps going on.
We know that he lied to the American people. We know that he has not shown leadership during this crisis, and they are desperate to throw anything they can against the wall to try to distract from that fact.
I understand, but you can't answer the question.
Brett, I am not going to allow the Trump campaign to funnel their questions through Fox News.
All right, I just got to stop funneling it through Fox News. I was going to say Brett Baer. Well, first of all, Brett Baer says he understands what. Well, I'm not sure what when he says he understands. I hope he just understands that the Democrat side, that the Biden campaign is going to make it all about the evils of the orange man bad. Of course, they're going to do that. But the fact is, he wouldn't answer the question because Joe Biden uses the teleprompter every second that he possibly can, and the question is why. And maybe the answer is because his mental acuity is not exactly up to par with where he's been in the past. Maybe that's the case.
Facts.
Or maybe not. Jake Tapper asked him about it. What about this issue with your mental acuity, Joe Biden? What about the fact that people are questioning your health and who's healthier, or even if you're up for the job of being president of the United States?
I am in good health. But here's the deal. Anything can happen. I've become a great respecter of fate. A great respecter of fate. I've seen too much of it in my family related to accidents alone. And so I guarantee you, I will be totally transparent in terms of my health and all aspects of my health. And when it comes to Donald Trump versus me...
Okay, wait. So he guarantees he will be transparent about his health. So in other words, we have to pass the bill before we can find out what's in it. See what I did there? Little wink and a nod to Nancy Pelosi, right? You get it? It's
bowl of doggy do.
Yeah, she gets it. So in other words, we have to elect Joe Biden president of the United States before we can find out whether or not he's healthy enough to do the job. Then I will be more than transparent. I bet you will be.
And when it comes to Donald Trump versus me, just look at us, okay? Just look at us. Who seems to be in shape? Who's able to move around? This idea of, slow Joe. I shouldn't laugh about it. Because
you shouldn't. Really? Do you want us to look? Do you want us to compare? How about we go on a debate stage and we can make all the comparisons that you would like? Look, the fact is that if the campaign decides that they are going to put people like TJ Ducklow, which, by the way, there's more audio from that interview with Brett Baer, embarrassing, more fighting against those that are going to question not only Joe Biden's mental acuity, but also his policy decisions. Brett Baer even asked him about or was it Jake Tapper, about the coronavirus and the fact that travel restrictions from China and whether or not he was for or against it at the time, and can't even answer that. And whether the more that they go in front of a camera, the more they are going to show the lack of acuity of Joe Biden and the campaign for that matter. And if there is going to be a debate, which I'm even doubtful of at this point, only because it's hard to believe that Joe Biden is going to be willing to debate this president, they want to put that on display no matter how it comes out, whether it's, well, it would have to be in person, right? We'd want to make sure that there's no teleprompters, or are we not allowed to ask that? It's sort of like when the NFL is saying, listen, we're all in unity together, aren't we? Well, we're unified. I mean, it's about being a peace and unity, right? So if I walk into the locker room wearing a MAGA hat, you're okay with that, right? I mean, it's peace and unity. It's just a disagreement of politics or maybe what we think who should be the president of the United States. You're not going to say anything bad about me if I do that, right? Because it's all about unity, or is it not? Or are we not allowed to say that? The more they are on display, the more you get to find out who they really are. So bring it. 239-479-5592. I see Rick is in Fort Myers. Rick wanted to talk a little bit about this day that we will not forget, that you should never forget, September 11th. And I'm so glad that people are going to be calling in this morning, and throughout the morning we will be talking about this, because really, I want to make sure that others will be doing it as well. I want to make sure that as we get through this day, that everybody that is on this station and other broadcasters will be talking about this day. And I hope it doesn't stop, because I got to be honest, I don't trust individuals right now, and I certainly don't trust schools to be willing to dig in and talk about it and to continue to bring it up. And I mean, I hope that they will. I could be wrong about that, and I hope I am. Rick's in Fort Myers. Hey, Rick.
Hi.
Hi.
I worked for Kern County Fire Department when 9/11 happened. I was backing out of my driveway. I ran upstairs and got back in bed with my wife and our two kids and watched it all. And to this day, it still sends chills down my spine. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. There are sounds, there are voices, things that never leave you about that day, the things that you remember. Like I said before, our friend Mike Opelka was there on the ground taking pictures. He has a picture up on his site, pureopelka.com, of the moment. You know, he had a shot where the second plane was in the background. I mean, someone who was there, covered in dust, could smell the smells, things that you will never forget, whether you were on the ground that day or even where you were. Now, you were in Kern County. Where were you at specifically?
That's in California. Kern County's a Bible Belt in the middle of California.
Oh.
I don't know, you've probably heard of Bakersfield, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We're outside. But, all the firemen came together and they were talking about standing along with your fellow men. That's what brought everything that day. Was pretty amazing, and realize that we are fragile. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about...
Well, before we get to... I see you want to talk about mask mandates, and I'll get to that in just a second, Rick. But I want to ask you this, because that is part of why we have to continue to talk about September 11th, because of not only the day and what happened that day, but also September 12th and days leading up after that as well, right? What you just mentioned,
yes.
The kind of unity that we had then, can we experience that same kind of unity ever again in this country? It's almost hard to imagine that we couldn't. It's sad to think that, and I hate saying it. It hurts my heart to say it, but you experienced it even in California, where you would imagine, people we make fun of California all the time. Rightly so, the way it's run and everything else. And there are some sad things about it when it comes to, socialism and liberalism and everything else. But the fact is that people came together, and even you witnessed that. Do we get to have that ever again?
I pray we do. I mean, everybody's going to get on their knees sooner or later and figure it out.
Yep. All right. So what did you want to talk about with mask mandates?
Well, my daughter was flying back to California yesterday and was in the Dallas airport.
Mm-hmm.
And she took her mask off. She had a note from her doctor because when she breathes her own hot air, she gets anxiety and her lips crack and she has all kinds of issues. She had a doctor's note, and they still said no, so she wore it on the plane. But as soon as she got off the plane, she took her mask off and sat down off the side, and there was no one around her, and was sitting there and waiting for her flight. It was 30 minutes to her next flight. She went to get on her next flight, and the boarding agent said, the pilot will not let you on the plane because you didn't wear your mask.
What?
What kind of ridiculous? Yeah, what kind of ridiculous is that? So she got kicked off a plane before she even got on it.
Wow.
I mean, you can burn buildings down, you can go crazy and have no issues, but you don't wear a mask because you have issues with wearing a mask. But you did wear it on the plane out there, and you were planning to wear it on the plane back because you knew that was the rule. Yeah. But when she got off the plane and was sitting there by herself, they scoped her out and said, guess what? She's not going.
So
she had to spend the night, and she's catching another flight.
It's hard to believe. Listen, Rick, I've got to run. Thanks for the call there in Fort Myers. I appreciate it. I'm sure there are a lot of stories that we could hear just like that when it comes to what's going on with mask mandates. As we all know, mask mandates, which have not been proven to work at all. As a matter of fact, there is more and more information that is coming out, science and data. Liberals love data, science and data, unless, of course, it goes against what they're saying and what they're pushing. Then we have to put it aside. That there is more information to show that, if anything, it is causing more issues than helping. There were places, I'm trying to remember if it was it Israel? Where they had the latest. Jordan Schachtel has some great information along with Phil Kerpen on Twitter as they've been following the coronavirus and some of what has been happening around the globe and the actual science data and information, and finding out that I think it was Israel that was having a low issue with cases until they masked up. And when there was a nationwide mandate and panic started to happen and there was this mandate of masks, the cases started to climb continuously days after that. Going completely against what people have said about these mask mandates. Quite the opposite. There is no proof that mask mandates work. And that's why so many people have been against them. I almost said Lee County. In Trump County, they decided not to do it. And again, Commissioner Brian Hammond putting that information out on his Facebook page to show that the cases were going down in Trump County the same as they were going down in cities of the same size in the state of Florida that did have mask mandates. It didn't make a difference. And it's something that has been argued in Collier County and so many people that were against it at the time, and rightly so. The data is not on your side. All right, I'm looking at the time, 239-479-5592. All right, usually at this time, and forgive me, usually at this time, 6:50 and 7:50, we do Drew's College of Political Knowledge for questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD, but I'm assuming we don't do... I ran long, Jake. I apologize. We will do it at 7:50, but yes, 6:50 and 7:50 each day we do Drew's College. So forgive me for running late. It's that kind of day, obviously, as we all know. And there's a lot to get to. And more of your calls coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, let's find out what's happening with traffic right now. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. We're watching a crash right now in East Naples at Rattlesnake Hammock Road and Santa Barbara Boulevard. No roadblock, but there are injuries reported there, so expect to see EMS and quite a little scene as they're working to get that cleared up right now. Looking good along I-75. No major delays on the interstate from Collier into Lee and Charlotte counties. Clear right now on Alligator Alley as far as any volume goes, but we do have some patchy fog reported between mile markers 105 to 95, so just keep that in mind. South of Golden Gate Parkway and then heading toward the entrance to the alley. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today and into the weekend, keep that umbrella handy and nearby. More rounds of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. Rush Limbaugh.
On Monday, Joe Biden appeared on a web streaming program with AFL-CIO boss Richard Trumka. Biden played the tough guy. Biden promised to be the strongest labor president this country's ever seen. He wants a national $15 an hour minimum wage. He says he's going to ban right-to-work laws, forcing people to pay union dues even if they don't want to, even if they don't agree with the millions of dollars unions give to Democrats. Then the tough guy Biden went a step further. He said that if company executives interfere with workers trying to unionize, he's going to punish them. Fining corporations, that wouldn't be enough. Biden says if business executives do the wrong thing, when it comes to employees wanting a union, he's going to make them pay a personal price. Joe Biden said all this while he was online with that top boss, Richard Trumka of the AFL-CIO, which has a long history of making business owners and others pay a personal price for going against their agenda. Now, Joe doesn't care that unions are mostly bad for business and bad for economic growth, which is why so many businesses have shed their unionized workforce. But that doesn't stop Sleepy Joe hiding. No, not only will he kill jobs, it sounds like he plans to do serious personal harm to the job creators. If he remembers, that's the saving grace here. He may forget all this by tomorrow. Finding the right person for the open position within your company, it's no easy feat. You can post a job, you can see hundreds of incoming resumes and inquiries, but finding the right person, that's what you're really looking for. ZipRecruiter helps you find that right person. ZipRecruiter does not depend on candidates finding you, it finds them for you. Their online technology identifies people with the right experience for your job and actively invites them to apply. It's how the owner of a construction company, Monica Starks of GS Group, makes the perfect hire for pivotal positions. Through ZipRecruiter, Monica's company has hired the right project managers, field scientists, and accountants. She's not the only employer who loves ZipRecruiter's technology and success. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. Try ZipRecruiter now for free and see for yourself. ZipRecruiter.com/rush. Very simple, ZipRecruiter.com/rush.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the Pool Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Do the math. Taking care of your pool is probably not a good use of your time and money. Free $50 Bonefish gift certificates when you sign up for one of our award-winning weekly service plans. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the Pool Doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
Hi, I'm Dave Harmer, founder of First Class Air Conditioning, serving Southwest Florida since 1977. We are in unique times that require all of us to change the way we go about our daily lives. By practicing safe distance measures, we will protect both you, our customers, and our employees. First Class Air Conditioning is open and here to serve you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
First Class Air Conditioning. Our name says it all.
As America's largest injury firm, we have advantages few others do. Our results and reputation are well known to the other side, and we have a track record of going toe-to-toe with them and winning big. But what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your case? I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the things we're most proud about is that we set up our firm so that your case gets lots of attention from a lot of people. Our technology and army of lawyers give us insight and oversight into every detail and every moment of your case. Paralegals, legal assistants, investigators, buildings with boxes of evidence. Every resource carefully designed to get you the most possible. And at Morgan & Morgan, we even have a dedicated team to make sure that your calls are returned that very same day. Injured? Dial pound law. That's pound 529. All law firms are not the same. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. License CCC 133-1790. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Your favorite bar can open its doors on Monday. The governor gave the green light to reopen at 50% capacity. You'll have to stay seated, and you will not be allowed to dance or socialize with other people at other tables. The Fort Myers Beach Town Council pushed the Lonnie Kai's consultant for solutions on how to make the hotel safer at a meeting last night. The Town Council is concerned about the number of calls sending deputies to the resort, and they want solutions from the hotel's consultant. You now have more options to feed your children. Collier Schools is extending their summer food service program. Starting Monday, free meals will be provided each weekday to children 18 and under, and the meals are available for both in-person and virtual students. The driver accused of hitting a 14-year-old with his truck and leaving him to die tried to blame his brother for the crash that happened in Lely. James Lee Melande is recovering in the hospital this morning. Juan Alvasures Giron is expected back in court next month. A body is removed from a Cape Coral home. Right now, we're working to find out more about this suspicious death. It happened along Southwest 25th Street in Cape Coral, and neighbors say they have not seen anybody at that house in weeks. And Lee County parents, remember you can pick up grab-and-go meals for your children every Tuesday and Thursday. Both Lee Home Connect and virtual students can receive these meals for the week. To find your assigned pickup times for both Lee and Collier schools, head to the Wink News app. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
Couple crashes in Collier County slowing down your morning commute. One at Rattlesnake Hammock Road and Santa Barbara Boulevard with injuries and delays in both directions on Rattlesnake approaching the intersection. Golden Gate Estates, you've got a crash on Golden Gate Boulevard West at 9th Street Southwest, causing some major backups. Heading westbound toward the library right now in the estate, so watch out for some delays out there. I-75 clear and quiet across most of Southwest Florida, and no issues on 41 or any of our area bridges. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, especially this afternoon into the early evening, another round of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. One of the biggest fears a homeowner has about their home is that the air conditioning system will need to be replaced. Well, folks, it's going to happen someday, so prepare yourself for that day. The good news is, Kobe Cooling has a 100% NATE certified team of mechanics that actually fix air conditioners. When you call for service, our unique team will find your issue and fix it. Your air conditioner will need to be replaced someday, but that doesn't have to be today. You can still get those giant firms with cheap service call prices and get a sales technician to sell you a new unit, or you can hire a real NATE certified mechanic and we'll fix your system and help you plan for the next air conditioner purchase. Call 239-482-1542 for a real mechanic and not a salesman in disguise. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you think of Kobe Cooling. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313.
Slider man, slider man. We make your patio door slide like new, slide like new. Slider man. This is our mission to put your sliding glass door back in the top condition. Slider man. We make your patio door slide like new, slide like new. Slider man.
Call Slider Man toll free 866-594-1969.
Are you a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts? You may be entitled to compensation, no matter how long ago the abuse happened, but your time to file a claim is limited. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. As a result of thousands of victims filing sexual abuse claims, the Boy Scouts have filed for bankruptcy protection, and the bankruptcy court has set November 16, 2020 as the deadline for abuse survivors to file a claim. As a result of this bankruptcy, a victims' compensation fund is being set up that may be worth over $1.5 billion. Childhood sexual abuse takes numerous forms, including forcible rape, exposing oneself to a child, or showing her or him pornographic images, or viewing or photographing a child in a sexual context. If you are a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. Sponsored by Mark J. Byrne and Partners, LLC.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
I have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
So the building started to buckle.
The trade tower collapsed.
We now see the collapse of the second building.
I was on the phone with Vice President Cheney. He had informed me about the Pentagon being attacked.
Those who make war against the United States have chosen their own destruction.
We are not going to forget 11th and 19 years ago, 2001, and what happened, and remembering the day throughout the morning on 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. And we stream live each and every day right here on YouTube. Anytime you want to watch, just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and please subscribe while you're there. And it helps to keep us going on both YouTube and Facebook. So I want to make sure, with all the things that are going on in the world, and with all the things that we see happening on the streets, in sporting events, there is that question as to whether or not we have a society right now that would step up and not only remember what happened that day, but would also be like those of September 12th, remembering the days afterwards and the unity and coming together, and how as a country we did. And we were unified. And can we see that once again? I want to talk a little bit about September 11th and your memories, what you remember about that day when you heard some of those news stories that you just listened to a second ago. And some other things that are happening. Rich Kolko is joining us right now, a safety and security expert from Wink News. Oh, boy, do I have a lot of things that I wanted to talk to you about, not only about the issues of the day, but certainly about your memories of September 11th. I'm not sure where we even start, Rich. I guess maybe we start with your memories of September 11th, and even someone that you spoke with here in Southwest Florida.
Yeah, good morning, Drew. Yeah, 19 years ago, I spoke to Sean Phillips, now a Naples police officer, retired NYPD, and I'll steal one of his lines from the interview where he said, when he talks about it, it feels like some of it was 5 minutes ago and some of it was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just so, and it's hard to listen to.
Yeah, it's hard to
some of the news stories.
Yeah, and how
it really is.
For so many, you remember where you were. I described this morning about how for me it was a pivot point in my life, and how because of that moment, never again would I be caught off guard when it comes to news and knowing what's going on around the world and being there at the moment and reaching out and talking to people and researching everything that was going on at the time. And it led me to where I'm sitting in front of this microphone right now, to be quite honest, and talk a little bit about, is this an interview that's going to be aired? Has it been out? Has it, like, his memories?
Actually aired it yesterday, because he started his story on September 10th. At the time, Sean was in the NYPD motor unit, a highway patrol unit, and he had driven the chaplain home. He was driving the NYPD chaplain home late on September 10th after some event, and they passed the World Trade Center, and he said the chaplain mentioned that there's a great restaurant in the World Trade Center, and asked Sean if he'd ever been there. And Sean said no, he hadn't, and the chaplain said, well, we will have to go there. And then Sean's next line was, well, we never made it. Because he was woken up the next morning to respond to the World Trade Center. It's posted on Wink's Facebook page. I tweeted it out at Rich Kolko, and it's a 2.5 minute interview, and it's just fascinating. And while I had the opportunity to talk to Sean, I'm glad I found him, and that's because his wife contacted me. Southwest Florida is full of these heroes. There are many first responders, firefighters, EMS, police, and others that have retired down here. I mean, you think it seems like yesterday, but 19 years ago, and a lot of these folks have moved on and retired, and certainly Southwest Florida is a great place. So you may bump into one of these heroes anywhere you go, whether it's a grocery store, a shopping store, or just walking on the beach. There's a lot of these folks around here, and if you see them or know them, they may want to talk about it, but they certainly can be thanked for what they did.
And I will just say this, and then we can move on as we talk about this issue. And for me and for many people in this country, that's what makes it so much harder for us to really wrap our head around what is happening on the streets, defunding police, taking out, getting rid of police departments, when we know those were the individuals that ran into the buildings when others were running out of the buildings. That has become this figure of speech, running towards the building as opposed to running away now because of that moment, because of the actual moment. And if we don't, number one, if we don't teach, if we don't continue to talk about this day and explain what happened to our kids and our grandkids, if we don't talk about it, the worry is that you will have a culture in this country that will dismiss it, will not talk about it, and quite the contrary, will want to do things quite the opposite of what our heroes and what those in our community right here in Southwest Florida, as you mentioned, as we walk around, that are here, that we're willing to do and still continue to do to this day. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't articulate what happened, if we forget, even the fact that there are 2 ceremonies today, people don't even realize that. There is. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Drew, the other thing that surprised me is watch TV news today and you watch the replays of 9/11, you're not going to see the airplanes hit the buildings. None of the news stations will use the actual footage of the planes hitting the buildings. They'll show the pile. After the buildings have come down, but they won't show the planes hitting, and I'm not sure what the reasoning is. I think it's important for people to see that.
I will take it. I will take it. I'll go there. You don't have to, but I'll go there. I think that they don't because it's. I think there's a culture right now, almost 20 years after the fact, that has grown up. We have to remember there's a generation that wasn't alive then, that doesn't even know anything about that. I mean, we're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds that don't know anything about or remember in that generation. And a generation now that has grown up to that you would imagine that that shock factor is needed. They need to see that specifically what happened that day to understand how important and how horrific that day was. And it's almost as if they don't show it because there is a culture now that doesn't want to be that doesn't want that displayed because of their feelings or their emotions, or they can't handle that shock. And so we don't want to give that to them. We want to give it to them kind of washed away, those images. It's wrong. And they need
wrong.
to,
Wrong.
right.
Wrong.
And if it won't be shown, then somebody has to describe it and then has to find it and has to do, and how many people are willing to do that? And then on the other side of that, of course, is the unity idea that how would we ever be again? Could we possibly be as unified as September 12th, for example? Could we ever see that again the way things are right now? And I worry that is a big issue. But
that's a huge issue. But I also think that's a very silent minority out there that still fully supports.
Yeah. And we have to do it. And I mentioned this before. We have to be the ones to talk about it. We have to be the ones to be okay to show the horrific images of that day. And so people understand how serious and how horrific it actually was, and then describe it. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine doing that.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. I was going through Facebook now with a lot of my FBI buddies who still post a lot of the videos and stuff, and I see that. I told my story last year. I can't remember if I told it to you, but it was my day, just very, very briefly.
Yeah, sure.
Which and because it's a law enforcement officer that made that day for me special. I was in the FBI office, worked at the FBI office in Atlanta at the time, and just the way that the squad was set up. And I was on the Joint Terrorism Task Force because we were still investigating the Olympic bombing of '96, looking for Eric Rudolph at the time. Oh. And the television just happened to be in front of my desk. So after the first plane had hit, everybody was obviously gathered around my desk. We were watching. We all saw that second plane hit, and then we knew, the world had changed dramatically. And a couple hours later, I had gotten a call from Washington as one of the guys to come up and work at headquarters because I worked airport response, and they needed a bunch of airport response agents because it was an aviation thing. So myself and another agent need to get to Washington. Got in the car probably 5, 6, 7 o'clock that evening, and we're driving north through up I-95. I'm in North Carolina. Roads are deserted, obviously.
Right.
We're going 100 miles an hour. Just zooming down the road.
There's nobody out.
All of a sudden, of course, nobody's out, but except for one North Carolina trooper who decided to pull me over going 100 miles an hour. And he comes up to the car, and and I identified myself. Sorry, sir. We're going to work. And he goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "Washington, D.C." And he took one step back from the car, pointed north on the road, just said, "Go get him."
Wow.
And continued up to D.C. and saw the Pentagon burning that night. Stopped on the road. We got shooed away. And then I ended up working at headquarters. I was not one of the brave folks that were out there working at the Pentagon helping clean up. But there were a lot of people that worked very, very hard that day and many days after. And I, too, am worried, as you are, that
how
people forget that.
And maybe before we go on, describe this. I mean, it's how confusing were those early moments and early on and even the first 24 hours? You knew what was happening. The FBI, you knew what was going on. But at the same time,
we knew what happened.
Right, what happened. Yes, forgive me. We knew what happened. But trying to bring this all together in the Bureau, everyone, did you feel the same way as we all did, where you saw and witnessed what happened, but there was still this confusion. How confusing was it for the Bureau?
We completely thought there were more imminent attacks ready to happen.
Right. Nobody knew.
That's what was really going on. And for those that evacuating buildings in other cities in the country, there were suspicious packages, bomb threats, just dozens of events going on all over the country. Manifests right away. We had different airlines call that they had suspicious people on board before they got the planes on the ground. There were all kinds of issues. Trying to put out those little fires. Is that happening? Is that happening? As they started to gather the intelligence of what was going on, it was this was so centered on New York, but the FBI building in New York was basically evacuated. They had to reestablish themselves in their command post around the West Efficiency because the people were in the process of moving from one location to other because 26 Fed is so close to the World Trade Centers that whole area is part of the evacuation.
So even days after, in some of the stories that you're just describing, these kinds of we can't forget about how everything transpired afterwards, and then of course ultimately the unification of the country. Thing, Rich, that quite honestly hurts my heart the most is I worry about how we moment now in this day, in this age, in this era, when we are so divided in many different ways, and even in levels of the government that we're all seeing on display. I mean, I could go on with you about even some of the latest news of the scrubbing of the phones in the FBI and the issues there in the Mueller investigation and what happened there, palm firmly implanted in forehead. Like, I don't even know if you even want to go there right now and what's going on.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that Monday.
Yeah, we could do that another day. But the point is that it's when we have that kind of situation happening at levels of our federal government, there's always that worry that, if there were another situation like 9/11 to happen, I would hope and pray that we would, as a country, put down those and be unified to be able to focus on the one issue that would be outside of this country. And I just hope that...
On solutions from the hotel's consultant. You now have more options to feed your children. Collier Schools is extending their summer food service program. Starting Monday, free meals will be provided each weekday to children 18 and under, and the meals are available for both in-person and virtual students. The driver accused of hitting a 14-year-old with his truck and leaving him to die tried to blame his brother for the crash that happened in Lely. James Lee Melande is recovering in the hospital this morning. Juan Alvasures Giron is expected back in court next month. A body is removed from a Cape Coral home. Right now, we're working to find out more about this suspicious death. It happened along Southwest 25th Street in Cape Coral, and neighbors say they have not seen anybody at that house in weeks. And Lee County parents, remember you can pick up grab-and-go meals for your children every Tuesday and Thursday. Both Lee Home Connect and virtual students can receive these meals for the week. To find your assigned pickup times for both Lee and Collier schools, head to the Wink News app. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Couple crashes in Collier County slowing down your morning commute. One at Rattlesnake Hammock Road and Santa Barbara Boulevard with injuries and delays in both directions on Rattlesnake approaching the intersection. Golden Gate Estates, you've got a crash on Golden Gate Boulevard West at 9th Street Southwest, causing some major backups. Heading westbound toward the library right now in the estate, so watch out for some delays out there. I-75 clear and quiet across most of Southwest Florida, and no issues on 41 or any of our area bridges. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, especially this afternoon into the early evening, another round of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When you're liberal relatives from up north come for a month. Turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Getting rid of bacteria, destroying 99.9% of harmful bacteria. How does that sound when it comes to your water? Why not take control? Call the local experts, my buddy Max at Pent Air Water Systems. You can find out what's in your water, right? And with the Pent Air Water System, I'm telling you, I should know I have one. You're going to love the way your water tastes from every single faucet, every one. Their salt-free solution is the Pent Air Smart Combo, can tackle chlorine and scale with no lugging in bags of salt. You've got the Advantage Salt System, if you like, would tackle even the hardest water issues. And Pent Air's UV system, listen to this, it's capable of destroying 99.9% of harmful bacteria. You know, the ones that find its way into your water, like E. coli. This month, take $199 off installation of your whole home Pent Air water system and let Max, your local Pent Air water specialist, find the solution right for you. And they got the white glove service program where they'll even maintain your system for you. So get the test now at 239-880-7799. 239-880-7799.
It's your friend Sean Hannity here. You know, investing in real estate around this great country is something that I take very seriously. Now, I can tell you there are a lot of agents or national companies. They look good on paper or make big incentives or may even offer to work for less money. But one thing I've learned over the years is details in real estate mean serious dollars. Now, I have seen firsthand the importance of working with and trusting the advice of an agent who truly has their hand on the pulse of the local market, that actually live in the market and have proven track records of making sellers money in that city through good markets and challenging markets. There's only one agent I trust, and I'm talking about Denny Grimes with Keller Williams, Naples. Look, the only thing more expensive than hiring an expert is hiring an amateur. Don't trust your home to just anyone. Now, I've done the homework. Talk to the agent that I trust for the best advice. Call Denny Grimes about his guarantees today at 489-HOME. That's 489-HOME, or online it's 489home.com.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Boy, there's so many things that I want to touch on news-wise. Certainly, we've been talking about 9/11. We do not want to forget. We never forget. And we've been talking about stories, your stories, as a matter of fact, as people have been calling. 239-479-5592. But some of the other stories that we continue to follow, couple of stories here. In L.A., county schools are going to open after the election. That's right. Caught on tape, an L.A. area reporter was given a copy of a recording from a conference call, which has the L.A. County Director of Public Health, Barbara Ferrer, saying that schools won't open up until after the election. Why? Why do we have to wait until after the election for schools to reopen? How does that work? Why does it have to be after the election? Oh, it's almost as if because there are certain school districts in certain places who are playing politics with our kids and using the Rona as a reason to continue to play politics, and that's pretty disgusting and pretty sick. But it is happening. So that's one story that we were looking at this morning. A couple of the other stories that we continue to follow. The Senate Democrats decided to kill what was the skinny coronavirus stimulus. 52-47 was the vote. Republicans wanted to come together and say, hey, listen, why don't we just do this? Why don't we give aid to schools if they need it, maybe expanding unemployment benefits, maybe new loans for small businesses? Why don't we do that? How about we just kind of target where the money needs to go if we have to continue to do this instead of opening up everything full bump, which we should be doing, which is not happening. But no, Democrats said, you got to have state and local government relief. Now, why do you think that Democrats would be willing to shut it all down, any kind of relief at all for anybody, if it didn't include state and local government relief? Well, you know why. We've been through this, and it's just a fact, Jack. It's that Democrat cities are run horribly. That Democrat states and local governments in Democrat cities have been abusing their stewardship of the tax dollars there in those areas, put themselves in such debt in such a bad way that one of the only ways, and I talked about this months ago, the fact that there were going to be bailouts for places like California and other states that put themselves in such bad economic ways that the only way to do it is to reach out to the federal government, is to wait for somebody like Joe Biden to come in and Democrats to come into office in the federal government up and down the line, and including the presidency, to be able to get the funds that they needed because of their bad stewardship. And so Democrats are like, yeah, if we don't have that, we're shutting it down. And so pretty much that's what they did. And so, look, it's going to play politically. Does it? I mean, certainly it matters. It matters because we all want things to open up. Like locally, we're starting to hear that bars are going to have the opportunity now to open up. There's some frustration there because there are some people that say, oh, thanks, that's kind of you. We should have everything open up full bump. It would be nice. But that we start to see all of these things open up. And the concern has always been about the politics that are being played. And now both sides politically, if we're going to be honest, get something to go into November with. That is the Republicans saying, listen, we tried. And Democrats saying, evil Republicans. So as sick as that is, that's the politics, right? That's what happens. Oh, hey, did you hear the latest? There's some news on the whistleblower front. I don't know if you know this or heard about this or anything. Look at that! It's the sort of the breaking news sound effect. There you go. Adam Schiff says, hey, look, we got some more whistleblowers, some more Russia whistleblowers. Sorry, I can't even do it with a straight face. If Adam Schiff is speaking, you should turn up the TV or the radio, or you should walk away, or you should just not even worry about it. Because if Adam Schiff's lips are moving, lies are spewing out. There's no doubt about it. So Adam Schiff is saying, hey, listen, we got a whistleblower, everybody, and we have to have them investigated by House Intel and the Inspector General. We got to find out what's going on here because there's some bad stuff that's happening. This new whistleblower, until we find out, when you read between the lines, you're going to like this. This was from Zero Hedge. Adam Schiff unveiled a new whistleblower, former DHS intelligence official Brian Murphy, who claims that the Trump administration officials at the White House and Department of Homeland Security suppressed intelligence reports that Russia's interfering in the 2020 election and altered intelligence related to comments made by the president. Well, as you start to read down further and further into this article, and Adam Schiff pitching a fit about all of this and saying national security at risk, we're going to investigate. Turns out that Adam Schiff did investigate this person, this whistleblower. You want to know why? Because he allegedly provided incomplete and potentially misleading information to his staff. He was already investigated because he is being accused of giving misleading information, lying to Adam Schiff's staff. So it's almost as if, I'm just throwing this out there, have some fun with me right now. It's almost as if Adam Schiff had an individual who worked with the Trump administration, who was doing some nefarious stuff, maybe lying, misleading information, not a good guy. And so it's almost as if maybe the committee says, hey, look, we could make a big stink out of this. And, you know, you could be out there and everybody can find out about this that's going on. And then you can get in a lot of trouble for all of this. Or maybe you play ball. And maybe if you help us, maybe as a whistleblower, maybe say a few things here and there, you know, stretch the truth. You know how Adam Schiff does it. Maybe if you flip, and maybe we can see to it that, yeah, so there's a lot of nonsense. So Adam Schiff, lips are moving, forget it. Just don't worry. It's what's going to be in the long line of what we will see coming up, which is attacks on the president, dun, 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 blah, 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 usual. Just get ready for it. And anyway, I know that you are. All right. Some of the other things that we are hearing about. Let's see. This is interesting. You have a couple of different interviews going on with Joe Biden. You have an interview with TJ Ducklow from the Biden campaign. And some of the things that Bret Baier was asking him, simple questions. You know, one of the questions that he did ask was about Joe Biden using a teleprompter, to which, being asked that question, somehow, some way, TJ Ducklow from the campaign is pretty ticked off. How dare you ask me this?
And with this, has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign.
Well, yeah,
talking
they're
points.
using it.
And what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Brett, they talk about it every day.
Okay. So Bret Baier's like, don't you have an answer? Just say no. And if you say no, then the Trump campaign can't use it. Well, the campaign's going to continue to use it because it's true. And there's TJ Ducklow pitching a fit because he doesn't want anybody to know that that's really happening because Joe Biden can't put together a coherent thought on his own.
Facts.
And that's an issue for the campaign. And then there's also this. Did you know that, listen, Joe Biden was all about the travel ban, or was he? Or was he not? I wasn't sure. Is he for it or against it? Was he for it before everybody was for it or against it? Or when the president was, did he flip? There's a lot of confusion here.
What specifically would the former vice president have done?
Well, let's get a few things straight. The vice president was not against the travel ban, first of all. Second of all, let's remember an important Brett. Let's remember an important distinction.
Okay, I can't wait to hear the important distinction because he and everybody else was. And, you know, it's amazing how Democrats are able to flip the script, if you will, and continue to talk about both sides of their mouth, how they'll say, I think that hydroxychloroquine could be something that we should look. The president likes it. Hey, no, that's dangerous. We can't use that. You know how dangerous it is? I mean, it's only been used for decades and decades. And okay, anyway. Yeah.
Donald Trump was the president of the United States. It was on Donald Trump.
I'm asking you if Joe Biden was the president of the United States.
It was on Donald Trump to take action to actually protect the American people.
He closed the travel to China.
Joe Biden wrote an op-ed in USA Today in January warning that the threat was coming. Joe Biden said in February that Donald Trump should get people on the ground in China. What did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump was praising China. Donald Trump was praising President Xi's response, saying that they had it under control, when clearly he knew, as we now know from Bob Woodward, they did not have it under control.
Okay, so we're going to the Bob Woodward book where the president's like, listen, I knew what was going on, but I wanted to be calm because I want the American people to be calm. I didn't want to cause a panic. And that's a bad thing because clearly the president did take a whole lot of steps to ensure the safety and security of the American people, whether it was travel from China and Europe and things that we were told you should not do, like Joe Biden saying that he would not do that until it feels like maybe that it would have been a good idea. So then now he's all about it. Look, what you need to know, again, is that the more that the Biden campaign speaks, the more that Joe Biden gets to speak in front of in front of a camera, the more you will find out and the more the American people will find out what a fraud all of this is upon the American people. But, Orange Man bad. So we got to figure out how to get this guy out of office because he's dangerous. It's just, yeah. Oh, and by the way, how does Joe Biden feel about China? We know all the things that are going on right now with China. We know all the concerns that we all have, whether it's Huawei and whether it's 5G and whether it's the idea that across the globe, people are going to be putting together infrastructure that is Chinese owned, that they will be able to tap into to be able to spy on other countries. It's just a fact. And yet there are some that want to dismiss that and some of the other things that are going on with China. We all know it's all been on display. Not the least of which is the virus itself. So Jake Tapper was talking to Joe Biden about this yesterday.
Let me ask you about China, because in 2011, when you were vice president, you said, quote, "It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper." A lot of people think that allowing China into the World Trade Organization, which he supported, extending most favored nation status to China, which he supported, that those steps allowed China to take advantage of the United States by using our own open trade deals against us.
All right, so Joe Biden's got an opportunity here. It's a wide open gate. Jake Tapper just opened up the gates. Like, here you go. This is a wide berth. I mean, it's like an airplane hangar opening. It's ginormous. You know where to go, Joe.
You think in retrospect that you were naive about China?
You know where to go, Joe. Were you naive about China, knowing everything we know now, everything that I described? Here it is. It's an airplane hangar hole.
Oh, here's the thing. In the context of that, we want China to grow.
We want China to grow. There was a wide open berth to walk through of talking about China, not in the most positive way, because we all know the things that are happening with China and the concerns we have, not the least of which is the virus. And I gave it to you. I threw it up for you. Look, here you go. Take it. And no, we want China to grow. And come on. Why is China so bad? Okay. Let him keep talking. Keep more interviews. Come on. Keep going. Oh, by the way, there was no teleprompter there in front of Joe Biden. So that, unless there was a screen behind Jake Tapper, I didn't see it. But so there you go. Again, leading to the idea that Joe without a teleprompter is like Jake without a video game. It's just a, I don't know if that's a good, I'm not really good at analogies, but I'll work on that. All right, 239-479-5592. Time right now for Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Caller number 5 right now, if you would like to play, 239-479-5592. Let's take a break. We'll have Drew's College coming up next with you on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. We're watching about 5 miles of backups on Daniels Parkway heading out of Gateway toward Fort Myers westbound right now. May want to reroute to Colonial Boulevard to avoid a crash, and all of the backups right near Treeline and Daniels. Also keeping an eye on a crash on 41 southbound near Miami Street, approaching Alico Road in South Fort Myers. There's a left lane blocked off right there right now. And keeping an eye on slowdowns also on 75 southbound. Mile marker 139 near that Luckett Road exit. There's a crash off to the side of the road with injuries. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today and into the weekend, keep that umbrella handy and nearby. More rounds of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News. News and smart views.
Water is life in Southwest Florida. It drives our economy from tourism to fishing to boating and quality of life. This is Adam Botana from Baywater Exclusive Boat Club, and we talk water for an hour every weekend on Fox News Radio. We feature guests on water quality, water safety, and water fun, including great boating day trips and tips on fishing. Join us this Saturday at 7 a.m. for the Baywater Exclusive Boat Club Hour with Adam Botana on 92.5 Fox News.
Don't miss Straight Talk with Doc Morris every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. He'll answer all your medical questions.
Does marijuana work? Absolutely. We're helping over 4,000 patients now in this marijuana program, and we can help you too with multiple diagnoses. Get your appointment scheduled today. We can help.
For more information, go to morrismedicalcenter.com. That's morrismedicalcenter.com. And catch Doc Morris on his show this Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Guess what, Southwest Florida? It's not too late. You can still get the full original base MSRP for your trade-in, but only at Naples Nissan. Yes, bring us that 6, 7, 8-year-old car you're driving now, and we'll pay you what you paid for it, so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. So, yeah, whatever it was worth back in 2012, that's exactly what it'll be worth now. But only at Naples Nissan. We don't care where you bought your car from or if it was already used when you bought it. If it's a 2012 or newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, we're paying you the full original base MSRP for it. Go to naplesnissan.com and pick out your favorite new Nissan model. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road to get the full base MSRP for your trade-in and drive home in that brand new Nissan today. Get all the details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Slider man, we make your patio door slide like new, slide like new. Slider man, this is our mission to put your sliding glass door back in top condition. Slider man, we make your patio door slide like new, slide like new. Slider man.
Call Sliderman toll free, 866-594-1969.
Hey, I love it here in Southwest Florida. This is my second home, and I know why you live here. You've been able to accumulate enough wealth to retire here, but you know what? Many retirement portfolios are exposed to way too much risk. Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group can help. So give your portfolio the second set of eyes that it needs. Call Alfie at 561-1155, and don't forget, listen for his program, Saving the Investor. That's Saturday mornings at 9 right here on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Jeff. Jeff is in Fort Myers. Hello there, Jeff.
Drew, how you going, mate?
I'm doing well. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Your associate's degree question, sir, starts right now. Jeff, we know that Ron DeSantis is the governor of the great state of Florida. In 2018, who did he beat to become the governor? What was the name of the person that he beat, the Democrat, to become governor of the state of Florida?
Oh, the Rick Scott?
No, it was actually Andrew Gillum. Andrew Gillum was the Democrat. Yeah.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's all right. Well, let's see if you get an associate's on this question. We elect a United States senator for how many years? Like, how many years do they serve?
Oh, that's 2, mate.
No, it's actually 6. 6 years with a congressional candidate. Yeah, congressman or 2. Okay. Well, let's see if you get an associate's degree on this question. Can you name 2 rights or freedoms from the First Amendment? We have the First Amendment. Can you just name 2 of the rights or freedom in the First Amendment?
Oh, yeah, well, they took a right to bear arms away from us down in Australia, so I know it's that one for the second, and freedom of speech, mate.
Well, freedom of speech is one. The Second Amendment is a right to bear arms. That's the Second Amendment. So you got 1 out of 2. You have a really cool Australian accent. So, Jake, does he get a point for that at least? Okay, he does.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay. Oh, Jake, you work on his accent. He couldn't get my name right for the life of it.
Well, wait a minute. You got one more question. We got one more question. Oh. All right, so let's see if we get it. At what age can you legally vote in the United States? At what age?
Oh, well, no, it's not 21, so I'll say 18, mate. 18.
That is correct, sir. All right, well, congratulations. There you got, I think, an associate's, I believe, or maybe a bachelor's, one or the other. Jake will decide when he puts you on hold.
It's better than I got in real life, that's for sure.
It's better than you got in real life. Well, that's a whole other story, sir, and I'm sorry that this is the. Well, no, I'm not. Just display this one proudly and then tell him you worked hard for it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Joe.
Well, I appreciate you too. All right. When we come back, Corey Lewandowski is going to join us. We'll talk about the news of the day on the way coming up, and your phone calls 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, always on time, where you don't pay a dime. Please visit us at www.onehourairnaples.com or call 844-1HOUR.
It's time to clean out your files and finally get rid of that mountain of paper. Collier County residents can bring 20 pounds of documents for free shredding. The shredding event takes place the first Saturday of every month at a recycling center near you. The next event is Saturday, October 3rd. Shredding trucks will be on site from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Naples, North Collier, and Northeast Collier. Here's your chance to get rid of old confidential documents for free. For more details, visit colliercountyfl.gov/recycle.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Svetlana Kogan, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South. Almost 2 decades of clinical experience in New York taught me a lot about doctoring. My philosophy is that less medication is better. I prescribe healthy lifestyle, good food, and exercise to heal and prevent most of the health concerns. I teach my patients how to use herbs, vitamins, and supplements properly, and spend a great deal of time with each of my patients, empowering them with mind-body balancing steps to prevent illness and avoid hospitalization. If you're looking for an experienced doctor who is knowledgeable in holistic approach to health, check out my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn how becoming a part of my patient family can make you healthy and joyful again.
Prescription pain relievers are safe and effective when used correctly, but if you misuse them, you could become addicted or experience other problems. Take your prescription as directed, and if you need information about addictions, call 1-800-662-HELP. Do the right dose. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and this station.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Your favorite bar can open its doors on Monday. The governor gave the green light to reopen at 50% capacity. You'll have to stay seated, and you will not be allowed to dance or socialize with other people at other tables. The Fort Myers Beach Town Council pushed the Lonnie Kai's consultant for solutions on how to make the hotel safer at a meeting last night. The Town Council is concerned about the number of calls sending deputies to the resort, and they want solutions from the hotel's consultant. You now have more options to feed your children. Collier Schools is extending their summer food service program. Starting Monday, free meals will be provided each weekday to children 18 and under, and the meals are available for both in-person and virtual students. The driver accused of hitting a 14-year-old with his truck and leaving him to die tried to blame his brother for the crash that happened in Lely. James Lee Melande is recovering in the hospital this morning. Juan Albacures Giron is expected back in court next month. A body is removed from a Cape Coral home. Right now, we're working to find out more about this suspicious death. It happened along Southwest 25th Street in Cape Coral, and neighbors say they have not seen anybody at that house in weeks. And Lee County parents, remember you can pick up grab-and-go meals for your children every Tuesday and Thursday. Both Lee Home Connect and virtual students can receive these meals for the week. To find your assigned pickup times for both Lee and Collier schools, head to the Wink News app. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
Good morning. We're watching about 5 miles of backups on Daniels Parkway heading out of Gateway toward Fort Myers westbound right now. May want to reroute to Colonial Boulevard to avoid a crash, and all of the backups right near Treeline and Daniels. Also keeping an eye on a crash on 41 southbound near Miami Street, approaching Alico Road in South Fort Myers. There's a left lane blocked off right there right now. And keeping an eye on slowdowns also on 75 southbound. Mile marker 139 near that Luckett Road exit. There's a crash off to the side of the road with injuries. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, especially this afternoon into the early evening, another round of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs, 239-992-2626, 239-992-2626. A big thank you from Jake DeMolino for AMCO Bonita Springs.
Rockstar Harley has over 300 Harleys on site ready for immediate delivery. Finance experts on site to help get you approved. 0% APR on all new Harleys this week at Rockstar Harley. On your credit and Sunday.
Are you a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts? You may be entitled to compensation, no matter how long ago the abuse happened, but your time to file a claim is limited. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. As a result of thousands of victims filing sexual abuse claims, the Boy Scouts have filed for bankruptcy protection, and the bankruptcy court has set November 16, 2020 as the deadline for abuse survivors to file a claim. As a result of this bankruptcy, a victims' compensation fund is being set up that may be worth over $1.5 billion. Childhood sexual abuse takes numerous forms, including forcible rape, exposing oneself to a child, or showing her or him pornographic images, or viewing or photographing a child in a sexual context. If you are a survivor of sexual abuse while in the Boy Scouts, you may be entitled to compensation. Call 800-760-2199. That's 800-760-2199 for more information. Sponsored by Mark J. Byrne and Partners, LLC.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you are here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, we are right now on YouTube, as we always are. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And please subscribe to the channel. It's free, and it helps to keep us going on both Facebook and on YouTube. And so we really do appreciate that. Coming up, I believe, in a couple of more minutes, Corey Lewandowski is going to join us, senior advisor for the Trump-Pence 2020 campaign. There's a lot to talk about, certainly, when it comes to the latest from the former vice president being interviewed with Jake Tapper, and what a mess that was in a lot of different ways. And even on the side of the campaign, the top press secretary for the Democrat, Joe Biden, angry that how dare Brett Baer even ask him about using a teleprompter, Joe Biden, for these interviews that he does with media outlets, and that's an outrageous thing to be saying, to be asking, and we can get to all of that. But in the meantime, Corey Lewandowski is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Great to hear from you again. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Well, good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. Before we even get into some of the issues of the day, I have to start with this because I cannot begin to tell you how important it is to me personally that we remember this day, 9/11. And I want you to speak to that as well, because, one of the things I'm concerned about, Corey, is that in the world that we are in today, I am concerned about unifying this country and the unity and being together as a nation. And I always worry about whether or not we could ever be together the way we were on September 12th and beyond. And talk a little bit about that, and even September 11th. And where were you that day?
Well, September 11th really hit home for me. As everyone knows, a number of those planes came out of Boston Logan's Airport, where I fly out of, and my home is just outside of that area. And one of my best friends from college, a kid who I grew up with, was on one of those planes. He was flying out to his first cross-country trip on behalf of his company, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he was killed on 9/11, and his name is Brian Kinney. I grew up with a family from Lowell, Massachusetts, and he was my age, and it really hit home. And, I had many, many friends who were killed on 9/11, and something that we could never forget. And September 12th was a day where our country was completely unified against those terrorists who just cripple us.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put partisan politics aside, and you have to be proud to be an American again. And I remember right after September 11th, everybody flew an American flag. It didn't matter what your political party was, what your race, what your socioeconomic status was. Everyone was proud to be an American, and we need more of that and less division in this country.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I want to make sure that we remember because others will be quick to forget. Others will be the ones that will not teach our kids, that will not explain, that will not go through the details, the horrific details, so that we do not forget. And, even the concerns, even right now, we've got 2 separate ceremonies that are going to be happening. And for those families, that has to be tough, because for a lot of people, that is the fear, right? The beginning of what would be the end of not taking the time to remember.
Well, I'll tell you, my little hometown in New Hampshire, for the first year ever, canceled the ceremony at the firehouse, where my children, I take them out of school and we go and listen and remember and pay tribute. And this year, because of the COVID-19 crisis, they canceled that ceremony. And I think that's a tragedy. We cannot allow people to forget over 3,000 Americans were killed on 9/11. And, my kids are young. They weren't born at the time. Right. But we teach them what happens. And we have to continue to do that. 19 years ago, for some people, is a long time. But for some of us who are directly impacted by it, and the families of Brian Kinney and so many others, we will never forget that and never let it go. And by the way, a number of these families have still never had the justice that they deserve from the people who perpetrate those terrible attacks.
Yeah. No, it's true. And that takes us to, where we are today, and even politically, because you ask yourself, and you don't even have to answer this, obviously rhetorical, because we know which party wants to divide, who wants to push forward division in this country, and who wants to unify and bring together. And by his policies, Donald Trump has proven that his policies are unifying because of what is tangible, Corey, and you can even speak to that. All the things that we know that the president was able to do and continues to do, even with the economy and the way things are turning around now, even coming out of this pandemic. It's unifying what he is able to do with the policies that he puts forward for all Americans.
Well, the other thing this president wants to do, which is the complete opposite of Joe Biden, is stand with the men and women of law enforcement.
Yep.
Those men and women who protect us from the evils of society. And believe me, those evils exist. And this president's been very clear. He will never defund the police. He will defend the police. And I've had the privilege to travel around this great country, in Florida many times. Never have I seen somebody come to me and say, I hope anarchy comes to my community. I hope they burn down my courthouse, destroy my schools, my police stations. Never have I seen that. But the Democrats have tapped into something. The members of the Joe Biden campaign, 13 of them, have put up money to get these people out of jail after they've destroyed people's properties and homes and businesses. It cannot be tolerated in a civilized society, and it will not be. But that's what we're fighting against every day in an election which is just over 7 weeks away.
Yeah. Corey Lewandowski joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, senior advisor, Trump Pence 2020, as we talk about a little bit about the news of the day. Certainly, I would almost encourage Joe Biden to get out in front of a teleprompter, a camera, and talk like he did yesterday with Jake Tapper and even others in the Biden campaign who are doing battle with people that would suggest, how dare they suggest that Joe Biden would use a teleprompter to do simple media interviews, until you realize that that's what he's doing, Corey. And the more they go out, the more you see who Joe Biden is and the concerns that people have had, and then even talk about the policies that Democrats want to put forward.
Look, the American people have to decide. Do they want to turn the keys over to Joe Biden for the greatest military the world has ever known? This is a man who can't put a coherent sentence together. Do we want to give him that opportunity? Do we want to give him the opportunity for us to cozy up to China again? Because for the 47 years he's been in office, he's never seen a deal with China he doesn't like. Do we want to turn the keys over to a man who, very candidly, his family has profiteered off of his years in government service? Unlike the Trumps who've lost money, and hey, let's not feel bad for Donald Trump. He's become very rich before getting into politics, but he didn't get into politics to become rich. And the converse of that is true with the Biden operation. Hunter Biden and Beau Biden, prior to that, these guys have all, and Joe Biden's brother, they've all made a lot of money off of Joe's time in office at the expense of the American taxpayers. And we need to make sure that doesn't continue. We have an opportunity in the next 7 weeks to move our country forward, where our allies respect us and our enemies around the world fear us, where we support law and order, the men and women who serve on the thin blue line, those people who serve in our military. This president has given them the largest pay raise in 10 years and rebuilt our military. And we have to make sure that those countries around the world that are trying to take advantage of us are held accountable.
Yeah.
This president has done that. Joe Biden has failed.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, we've got to run, Corey. I do appreciate a few minutes of your time. I hope we get to do this again soon before election. Obviously, we know how important it is now more than ever, and even bringing up September 11th and that horrific day and remembering, never forget 9/11, never forget that day, but understand also the politics and the politicians that are there to help the American people and unify the country, and those that are set to divide and to continue some of the division. It could not be more clear than it is today, and it shows how important the election is right now. All right, my friend, all the best. We'll speak soon. Thanks so much. All right, there he goes. Corey Lewandowski joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And I think that's an important aspect to this, right, is the fact that, when we talk about 9/11, when we talk about how it is being discussed and not being discussed, how media outlets are kind of glancing over some of what are the more horrific moments, the planes crashing into the buildings and not showing that and just showing. I'm trying to think of the right way to put this, but you hope that there are not outlets that are trying to minimize what everybody witnessed that day, because we have a culture that right now can't handle it, that doesn't want to see that is so shocking and horrific to individuals that they would rather not see that and just kind of look the other way. And that there are certain media outlets and places that are willing to keep that out of their view, because you've got a culture that's just not prepared for it, not willing to hear the truth. I hope that makes sense, but I am concerned about that. But the good news is that you don't have to wait for somebody else to do what you can do and what I do, and to be able to explain, to show how horrific it was, and to explain to my child, to my kids, and your kids, to do that specifically, to let them know about what happened 19 years ago, September 11th, 2001. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, 239-479-5592. Anytime you want to call, maybe you have memories of that day and you want to talk about that. We'd love to hear from you. And also want to remind everybody we're streaming live on YouTube. So if you'd like to watch, Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. We always appreciate you subscribing as well. All right, let's find out what's happening with traffic. Trace O'Shea has it.
Good morning. Tracking major delays westbound along Daniels Parkway coming out of Gateway into Fort Myers because of a crash right near Chana Court that's just off of Treeline Avenue. So a good 4 miles or so of backups. Take Colonial Boulevard to get around it westbound into Fort Myers. We're also watching a crash on southbound 75, mile marker 139 near the exit to Luckett Road. Off to the side of the road, just expect some slight slowdowns on the interstate as people are slowing down going past that crash. Also still have an accident along 41 South Tamiami Trail right near Alico Road, still blocking a left lane and causing some delays at that crash scene near Miami Street. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today and into the weekend, keep that umbrella handy and nearby. More rounds of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and have I told you about Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting? I know I have because, well, number one, I've used them on multiple occasions. I've had a few moves lately, and each and every time had them at my home. They're fantastic. I love the staff. They are the highest reviewed contractors for what they do, maintaining 4.9 to 5 stars. But here's another thing to consider. What about a kitchen, a bath, an entire home that you want remodeled? They have teams and resources ready right now to walk you through the process so they can turn your dreams into reality. I should know because they did exactly that for me and my wife. I could not be happier. The communication, the friendliness of the staff, the fact that they've been around since 2001, and the difference that they can make, whether it is something like painting a bathroom and especially kitchen and bath remodels. So call them today, Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting, 239-431-2781, and find out what they can do for you and the incredible work that they do for yourself. 239-431-2781 for Ryan Hammond Painting and Contracting.
Today, people will wake up, and before the day is over, their life will be changed forever. Car crashes can't be predicted. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The law firm you choose to prepare you for life after today may well be the most important decision you ever make. All law firms are not the same. The insurance company knows who will take your case to trial and who won't. Visit forthepeople.com to learn more about us. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Dial pound law on your cell. Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
Tune in on Sunday mornings, Fox News 92.5, Dr. Amy Robbins and Maximize Living Radio. I'm going to be going over topics like leaky gut, weight loss resistance, how to fix your chronic aches and pains, how to deal with all of those things in a natural way, how to sleep better. So there's a different topic every single week that we're going to be covering. Tune in and get the help that you need.
Hey, you confused about real estate? Sean Hannity here, and I can tell you as an active real estate investor, well, just like the stock market, it can go up one day and down the next. Home values and sales, they fluctuate on a dime. Now, even though I've bought and sold homes for years all across this great country, one thing I will always do is partner with a sharp real estate agent that truly studies local and national market trends, that knows the real value of homes, and most importantly, knows how to generate demand regardless of the market. And the good news is you have a truly amazing agent right in your backyard. I'm talking about Denny Grimes with Keller Williams, Naples. He has an amazing team working for him, and he doesn't miss a single detail. Now, his system is so bulletproof, well, he can create demand and sell your home at a deadline that you agree to, or he will buy it himself. Now, real estate doesn't have to be frustrating or scary. Call Denny Grimes today at 489-HOME. That's 489-HOME, or online it's 489home.com.
Slider man, slider man. We make your patio door slide like new, slide like new, slider man. This is our mission, to put your sliding glass door back in the top condition. Slider man, we make your patio door slide like new, slider man.
Call Sliderman toll-free, 866-594-1969.
Hey, I love it here in Southwest Florida. This is my second home, and I know why you live here. You've been able to accumulate enough wealth to retire here, but you know what? Many retirement portfolios are exposed to way too much risk. Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group can help. So give your portfolio the second set of eyes that it needs. Call Alfie at 561-1155, and don't forget, listen for his program, Saving the Investment. Esther. That's Saturday mornings at 9 right here on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. Eric's in Naples. Good morning, Eric. How are you today? Is Eric still there, Jake?
And we lost Eric.
Oh, we lost Eric. Okay. Allison's on Fort Myers Beach. Is Allison still there?
Well, I am here, but I'm no longer on Fort Myers Beach. I left work, got gas in my car, went and got some stuff, tried to do my air pressure, and I'm now home.
Okay. Well, what's going on there, Allison?
I wanted to talk to you.
Well, here I am. So what's on your mind?
Okay, well, 9/11, what happened on that day, I had to take my son to high school because he was doing a school choice then, and it's easier just to drive him to school. And I came back home and getting ready for work, and I go to turn the TV off, and that's when they just said, oh, my God, a plane has struck one of the trade centers. And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, I need to leave because I have to go to work. And that's when the second plane struck. And so I waited a little longer, I made it to work on time. I worked at the mall at the Walden Books there. And it was dead. It was scary how quiet the whole place was. And the Radio Shack was just down the way, and we would all the other stores and us would kind of rush into there to see. And so we saw the first tower go. And by that time, the mall people, authorities said, we're closing. And so call your managers and see how long it's going to take you to close. And so we were all out of there by noon. And we all came home and just watched the rest of the day.
Yeah, I know that's for many. And Allison, listen, I appreciate you holding, and thanks for the comments there from Fort Myers Beach, 239-479-5592. And memories that those that were watching or were there to witness, moments that you'll never forget. Mike Opelka is going to join us in just a little bit, and someone who was there on the ground there, and you'll hear from him coming up. And certainly my moment hearing my dad's voice when I was able to contact him as he was making his way into Manhattan, as he did each and every day, and had him on the phone as everything was transpiring, and I'll never forget the sound of his voice. Never. Quickly, we've got Eric in Naples. He's back. Hey, Eric.
Drew.
Hey.
Hey, Drew. Sorry to miss you there. I lost you. But, I think like everybody, we just all remember where we were that day and the feelings we had. And I know for me, it really encouraged me to revisit the priorities of my life. I actually went back in the military and the reserves, and as you know, I just got back from Afghanistan, and to see the progress that we've come from that dreadful day to today, in so many ways is bright and shining, right? What we're doing around the world and encouraging democracy and free markets, but then we also look at the state of affairs in our country today, and it just seems almost polar opposite. So today's a very reflective day for me, and I appreciate your having the show, obviously for people to reflect and share those thoughts and feelings. We live in a great country.
Yeah.
And we can overcome a lot.
No doubt. All right, Eric. Well, listen, I'm going to catch up with you soon, my friend. I'm glad you're back, and we'll speak soon. All right, 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's Pest Prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Why? Why pay more for a used car or truck? Model year-end sales event at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. 2020 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $49 per month. That's right, a new car for just $49 per month. 2020 Kia Rio, just $13,990. Yes, $13,990. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Galliana Kia has lenders to get almost anyone approved. Plus, we'll take any trade, in any condition, even if you're upside down. Why? Why buy an overpriced used car when you can buy a new car for less? Brand new Kias, just $49 per month.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Model year-end sales event going on now at Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
24-month lease, 12,000 miles per year, $39.99 doing sign plus tax, tag title, dealer and acquisition fee, 0 security deposit with lender approval, expires month end.
Hi, this is Kirk Cameron from My Faith Votes. This fall, Americans are faced with what may be the most important election in decades, maybe ever. If we as Christians stay home and don't vote this November, our children's future is at terrible risk. The consequences will be to unfairly shift this country's massive burdens to our children and grandchildren. Each of us can do something to make a difference. We can vote. Make the pledge to vote. Visit myfaithvotes.org today. That's myfaithvotes.org.
Paid for by My Faith Votes.
We all share a common journey. We wanted to serve our country, stand for something bigger than ourselves, and protect the things we love. Although we were ready to face any mission, help those in need, and make a difference, for some of us, coming home was more of a challenge than we expected. In the service, we had each other's backs. But as veterans, it can sometimes feel like we're all alone, even when surrounded by our loved ones.
If you're a veteran or service member in crisis, or know one who is, call 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Chat at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Your favorite bar can open its doors on Monday. The governor gave the green light to reopen at 50% capacity. You'll have to stay seated and you will not be allowed to dance or socialize with other people at other tables. The Fort Myers Beach Town Council pushed the Lonnie Kai's consultant for solutions on how to make the hotel safer at a meeting last night. The town council is concerned about the number of calls sending deputies to the resort, and they want solutions from the hotel's consultant. You now have more options to feed your children. Collier Schools is extending their summer food service program. Starting Monday, free meals will be provided each weekday to children 18 and under, and the meals are available for both in-person and virtual students. The driver accused of hitting a 14-year-old with his truck and leaving him to die tried to blame his brother for the crash that happened in Lely. James Lee Melande is recovering in the hospital this morning. Juan Albasures Giron is expected back in court next month. A body is removed from a Cape Coral home. Right now, we're working to find out more about this suspicious death. It happened along Southwest 25th Street in Cape Coral, and neighbors say they have not seen anybody at that house in weeks. And Lee County parents, remember you can pick up grab-and-go meals for your children every Tuesday and Thursday. Both Lee Home Connect and virtual students can receive these meals for the week. To find your assigned pickup times for both Lee and Collier schools, head to the Wink News app. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
Good morning. Tracking major delays westbound along Daniels Parkway coming out of Gateway into Fort Myers because of a crash right near Chana Court. That's just off of Treeline Avenue. So a good 4 miles or so of backups. Take Colonial Boulevard to get around it westbound into Fort Myers. We're also watching a crash on southbound 75, mile marker 139 near the exit to Luckett Road. Off to the side of the road, just expect some slight slowdowns on the interstate as people are slowing down going past that crash. Also still have an accident along 41 South Tamiami Trail right near Alico Road, still blocking a left lane and causing some delays at that crash scene near Miami Street. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, especially this afternoon into the early evening, another round of scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Plan accordingly, have that umbrella ready to go. And because of a tropical disturbance moving across the southern half of our state by later tonight and into the weekend, that will still keep up our chances for rain. Also does have the opportunity for some gradual development as it eventually pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. As we highlight next week, temps in the 90s with more scattered storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News. Trust all along.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomato's Sports Page. These are stressful times. There's turmoil all around us, from our personal concerns about health, family, and finances to our feelings about those who trash this great country, its traditions, its protectors, and its flag. I want to scream and make my voice heard, but instead I'm part of the silent majority, those who are dependable, caring, fair-minded, fiercely patriotic, and who every day help to make America great. Stevie honors the silent majority every day by serving our award-winning food and beverages. Relieve today's stress during our happy hour with a great meal. Choose full-at-the-bone ribs or the best burgers in town, great pizza and more. Most of all, sit down, relax, eat, and drink with others of the silent majority. Stevie honors this great country, its traditions, and the sacrifices made by all those before us and today. Our servicemen, our policemen, our firemen, and doctors, nurses, homemakers, and all others of the silent majority. God bless you, and God bless America, and most importantly, vote. Stevie Tomatoes, Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch at Drew Steele Radio. There's a lot, but we'll try to condense it down to the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
If we don't get 600, I say if we don't get 600,
Nothing to see here. It's just a couple of protesters outside of Mitch McConnell's house saying no $600, no peace. The activists screaming after the Democrats pretty much shot down any chance of there being any kind of skinny coronavirus relief, and the money added would have been $300. I guess it's not enough. $600, no peace. And it's look, the mess just continues.
Number 4. Yes, this is obstruction of justice and destruction of evidence of the worst sort. I wrote about it in an article in 2018 complaining that Rosenstein and Mueller allowed the Strzok Page cell phones from the special counsel operation to be destroyed, and I demand that the IG seize all the other phones then and collect all the evidence off of them, and then the IG lets this happen. All of those phones should have been seized at the end of the special counsel operation while they were still doing it, and they should have nailed every one of them already.
There you go. All right, nothing to see here. Move along. That's just Sidney Powell, attorney for Michael Flynn, commenting on the fact that, listen, dozens, what's a dozen between friends? Numerous cell phones from special counsel Robert Mueller's team were accidentally wiped before the DOJ Inspector General was able to review the devices. Several dozen phones, wiped with a cloth. No big deal. You just we can fix that, right?
Number 3.
And that's the sound of the NFL started last night, and there was a little bit of booing going on when the Chiefs stayed in the locker room. The Houston Texans stayed in the locker room during the anthem. Came out, and then there was this big show of unity on the field. Both teams locking arm to arm and looking out to the audience there, the crowd. Which some of them were booing, the kind of unity you would see, unifying. We're all together and we're all unified, and we just want peace and unity. So if I were to walk into the locker room, let's say wearing a MAGA hat, we'd be able to talk, right?
Number 2.
And when it comes to Donald Trump versus me, just look at us, okay? Just look at us. Who seems to be in shape? Who's able to move around? This idea of, slow Joe. I shouldn't laugh about it because, anyway,
we can move on. This idea that look at us, look at me, look at him, look at Trump, look at me, look at him, look at me, look at you, look at me, now look at me, now look at you, now look at me, now look at him, now look at me, now look at them and me, and you look at you, and look at me. Am I still here?
Number 1.
End with this. Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign's talking
they're
points.
using it.
And what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
Well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Brett, they talk about it every day.
I can't do it. All right, there you go. TJ Ducklow, who is works with the Biden campaign with Brett Baer yesterday and couldn't just answer the simple question. Hey, is Joe Biden using a teleprompter to answer questions? Yes, no?
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
I don't know. I should ask Mike Opelka, pureopelka.com. Do you use a teleprompter as you're on the show with us? Yes or no?
Yes, I do. Hey, by the way, is TJ Ducklow the greatest name for a guy who ducked a question?
TJ Ducklow.
Ducklow. I'm like, oh my God, this is Hollywood coming in. Hey, who are we going to send in Ducklow? He ducks low on every question. He wouldn't answer anything. He was mad about everything. So Biden won't show up on Fox, and they send get Ducklow on it. He'll avoid everything. It was just so insane yesterday.
It was.
And yesterday morning, they put a cap on Biden's press avails at 9:30 in the morning. And I'm sure you've been through this. That's journalism speak for nothing will be released to the media after 9:30. So all of that stuff from yesterday, the Jake Tapper stuff, had been recorded the day before when he was in Michigan. If you looked at the background, you saw the trucks.
Yeah.
So Joe has to do these things, and then he's got to be like Michael Jackson in the hyperbaric chamber with the propofol drip that keeps him sleepy so he can recover in the oxygen-rich environment, so that when they drag him out for another campaign appearance, he appears to be spry, going, hey, take a look at us. Which one of us can move better? I'm sitting there going, oh, my God. Anyway.
Boy, the more I got to tell you, the more the former vice president gets in front of a camera and a teleprompter, the more you get to hear things and see things and just shake your head and wonder how much longer can they. I guess if they keep coming up with creative new ways to go after the president, like Adam Schiff in the latest Russia collusion hoax, or the latest with Bob Woodward in a book that says that the president was trying to keep everybody calm during the beginning of the pandemic. He knew it was bad, but he's trying to keep everybody calm. And what? Like he said it himself that he was trying to keep everybody calm. I guess that's all you have right now, is to just continue this line of going after the president in the latest scandal and the latest book and the latest something to kind of cover the fact that Joe Biden has to speak to people.
Well, let's go back about a year ago on the campaign trail when it seemed as if each one of the Democratic candidates had a specific task to attack the president with. Like Kamala would attack him on this. Biden would attack him on this. Each one of them had that. Well, now you're going to see over the next 52 days, there will be these individual bombshells. And I'm using my fingers to make air quotes.
Yeah.
Bombshells. We had the Atlantic magazine piece last week. We had Woodward over the weekend or during this week. What's the next one? Now, I believe they're going after Melania. Knew he lied about his infidelity.
Oh.
And I wonder if anyone will ask Joe about how he really met Jill, because the ex-husband of Jill Biden has a book out that's telling a very different tale than the Bidens have told over the last few years.
That's true. That's true.
So I don't think that's going to happen, but we should expect, 53 days left?
Yeah.
52 and a half bombshells will be dropped.
52
and a half. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
That sounds about right.
That Biden thing you played with Tapper, where he was like, look at us.
Right.
See who can dance the rumba better, whatever. But it reminded me of something. It was like 34 days ago. He was on one of the BBN broadcasts, the Biden Basement Network. He said this.
And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to make a judgment about who I am.
Yeah, we have. And you heard what he said yesterday, or they released a statement yesterday about, if you elect me, I will be completely, totally transparent about my health.
Yeah, like we have to sign the bill before we can tell you what's in it. Kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to pass. You got to pass the election before you can.
You got to pass it before we can tell you. That's crazy.
It's such madness, and the mainstream media won't call him out on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, were you kind of switching up a little bit? Were you surprised yesterday that there was some booing in the crowd? I mean, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the NFL was started up yesterday, and by the way, there was a clip that I didn't get to play. Did you hear the Roger Goodell clip? Roger Goodell commenting on the fact that, let me play this clip and maybe we can comment on this. So here's Roger Goodell about politics in the NFL. And
you can talk about so many things that have happened to help our country get to a better place. And sports has been a big, big influence on that. Mm-hmm. And, we're not here to make political statements. We're here to help make our communities better.
Excuse me? What?
You're doing it wrong. If you're not here to make a political statement, you're completely screwing it up, sir. Respectfully.
That's how do you do? How is it? The amazing thing is whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's certain Democrats, whether it's Roger Goodell. How could you be so blind to the reality, or just so divorced from reality, where you think you can say that and people are going to be like, "Well, he's right. It's true. I never thought of it that way." Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, explain. Show your work in the margins. Please show your work so we could grade you properly.
Yeah.
No, I did not watch. I tuned over to see what the heck they were going to do with the anthem.
Yeah.
So I tuned over and I saw about 40 seconds of Alicia Keys and the beautifully produced video that they made for Lift Every Voice. And then I went back to tennis. And then I went back to see what happened with the anthem. And I'm like, okay, good. Yeah, Texans left the field. And then the other guys locked arms. And then they did. And I'm done.
Right.
I'm done with the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't need you. I came to you for sports, for a distraction from the reality and the political arguing in my life.
Yeah.
I don't need you overactive thyroid glands to tell me what I should think about politics because you can run a 4.340.
Disclaimer, anybody who has an overactive thyroid, please don't be. Send cards and letters, care of this station, to Mike Opelka, and he'll be sure to.
Please see your doctor
Yes.
for your overactive thyroid.
Void where prohibited.
Thyrex, brought to you by... No, I'm kidding. Of course, we're not mocking people with thyroid conditions, but let's face it, these athletes, they aren't... most of them, I would venture to say 99% of them are not the sharpest knives in the drawer.
Or listen, if you really do want to talk about what your demands are, let's talk. Like if you're telling us that you have all of these things on the field and the sticker on the helmet and everything else that's going on, and you have demands that need to be met before we can move on, why don't we sit, athletes, at a big old table and let's talk about what that is specifically? Like, what is the end game? What is the one thing specifically that you can say, this will change. This will change it all. And then tell us what it is. But I have yet to hear that even being explained. So, I mean, is it coming together? Is it unity? You know, I half joked about it before. Well, is it just that we have to follow what it is that you dictate? Or do I get to walk into your locker room wearing a MAGA hat and we can all sit down and talk about life? Or are we not allowed to because I'm not following what you would like for me to do, as opposed to everybody is allowed to be who they are, and it's this overarching issue that we're not going to worry about, and I might make the suggestion that could never happen.
Yeah, clean your own house before you come looking to clean mine, NFL.
Oh boy,
I'm so done with them.
Yeah.
And it is over for me. And somebody said to me, well, what about the Chicago Bears? I don't care. Jay Cutler is reportedly dating Tommy Lahren.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's a story that came out, and the jokes about it are hilarious.
Are they? I can only imagine. Now, listen, we were not going to finish up this day. I've been talking about it all morning. We're not going to... and you can discuss as much as you would like, because I know for you it's very emotional, but 9/11 today, I have been talking about it all morning and mentioning it that, and even the politics of the day would suggest that my concern is, here we are, September 11th, 19 years later, our memories of that day, and we all have them vivid. You probably more than anybody, well, just about anybody that I know, and I can tell you that. Do we have a society today that could even have a September 12th? Is it even possible that the unity in the country, as we have joked about the unity in a locker room, of the unity in a country, like we had after September 11th, do you want to? Can you describe a little bit about your experience that day? I know it's emotional for you.
It is, but I also like to think I've steeled my body and my soul against breakdowns. I can't go the September 11th without crying a little bit, but it's 19 years and 7 minutes from the time the transmitter at the radio station where I worked went and switched over to the backup transmitter, and that was because the first plane hit the South Tower. Or the North Tower. I forget which one got hit. North Tower. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, hey, what's going on? And we had no idea. And I was 1.1 mile away. And I looked out the window and, oh, my God, the Twin Towers, one of them's on fire and there's smoke. And then a few minutes later, it was like 17 minutes later, the South Tower was struck. And I was out there during the top of the hour news break. You know how we always pull away,
right?
Taking pictures of what we were told was an accident. was a terrible accident. And I didn't notice it until later, but there's a small speck in the screen, and I posted it on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's the second plane banking in. So I've seen it. And then the next 48 hours were kind of really intense as we went from a dance music station with, parodies and frivolities and, hey, the 103rd car is going to win tickets to see NSYNC, to all we did was talk about this because we all knew somebody. And I had friends who were in the building, and I watched the buildings fall from a mile away and heard the bodies and the screaming and the steel as it was bending, and it was horrific. And then we had weeks, Drew, maybe even months of the smell from the pit. And that was the smell of jet fuel, the detritus from the buildings, and human flesh. And I've never experienced anything like that day, and probably the next 6 months as it ate away at you. But what we saw was the rising of the ashes of the greatness of America and the unity that you wonder if we could get today. I don't know if we could get it back today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'd like to believe that we can, and the way that we do it, quite honestly and frankly, is not to depend on others to do it, but we do it ourselves. And we it's our sphere. It's what we control. It's what we can do.
Well, their kids will be voting in 53 days or earlier, who were just showing up.
Yeah.
On that day.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm looking at Jake texting and saying we've got to run, and I know we do. And love you, brother. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you next week. All right.
What? Okay. Love you too. God bless America. Everybody, be nice to everyone in your world today.
Yes, no doubt. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rockstar Harley has secured 0% APR financing on all new Harley-Davidsons this week. That's right, 0% APR. And financing terms that can